don't mind telling you, I'm scared to death.
This is the Reed Polygraph, a lie detector. 200,000 persons have staked their futures, many of them their lives, on this machine.
But today, there is a new way of detecting lies. For the first time in nearly a century, it could prove to be a more accurate alternative to the polygraph.
Is your name Edward Cummings?
Yes?
Deception is not always a matter of life and death. We all tell lies.
We see when people say, I'm on my way. In fact, they're not, but it's a little lie.
But some deceptive behaviour can have a more sinister intent.
I washed some knives that I had sharpened the night before, I think.
New research into deception is rewriting the rules of lie detection, and it is all down to simply measuring how the whole body moves.
We were watching the water levels, the national water levels for that area, or local water levels of the rivers.
The research offers the extraordinary promise of also identifying criminal or terrorist behaviour.
There's the potential that you could have a large number of these rigs in large areas looking at people as they come through passport control and potentially protect a lot of people and save a lot of lives.
But as the new technologies promise to make the world safer, it is in the online world where the human instinct for deception has found new freedoms.
There's something very interesting. You see, in online dating, because everybody lies, people feel it's okay to lie a little bit just to be like everybody else. And then they meet for coffee and they set themselves up for disappointment.
But can science really separate the truth from the lies?
I'm able now to tell you, based on those movements, which one of the stories is true and which one is a lie.
Does the new lie detector really work? We're going to find out.
My lie was...
The truth was...
At Cambridge University, Sophie van der Zee is the scientist leading the search for the ultimate lie detector.
So based on the literature, we actually didn't really know if people move more or less when they're lying, because there's very mixed results out there. That means that we thought, let's put someone in a full body motion suit and see what happens. Let's sort of end this discussion for once and for all if people are moving more or less when they're lying.
To make an accurate lie detector is not easy. The scientific basis for the polygraph has always been disputed.
The conscious act of lying creates an emotional disturbance.
Its accuracy is more the stuff of Hollywood myth. Its critics claim a success rate of just 70%. But could something as simple as the way a person moves reveal their innocence or their guilt?
17 different inertial sensors that are placed on the body, literally from head to toe. And what they do is they sort of create a 3D image of the person that is wearing the suit and are sending it to a laptop, who then creates sort of a stick figure of all the movements that someone is making.
Sophie's work is causing a bit of a stir in the world of deception research. Today she is presenting her findings to the world's very first Decepticon conference, hosted by Cambridge University.
Almost everybody who's into deception, not everybody, but so many are here. So this is a great chance to get us all together, because we're from a variety of different academic disciplines and a lot of non-academic folks here too. So it'll be a good chance to find out what everybody else is doing.
So if you're an experiment, I ask you to pick a side, top or bottom.
Also presenting his research is behavioural economist and TED star Dan Ariely. In simple experiments, he looked at how people cheat, and he noted that they usually start by cheating just a little.
I think that when people start the path of behaving badly, at that moment, if you connected them to a lie detector, there would be no reaction. At that moment, they would think that they're actually okay. A little bit of self-deception, a little bit of wishful blindness.
What Dan has identified in all of us is something he calls the fudge factor.
So here's what we basically find. What we find is that people are trying to balance two motives at the same time. We try to look at the mirror and feel good about ourselves and feel that we're honest, wonderful people. At the same time, we try to cheat a little bit and benefit from that. And you could say, how could you do both? You could choose one or the other. It turns out we could do both. How? As long as we can convince ourselves that we're actually not doing something bad. And this is what we call the fudge factor.
If we all think it's okay to cheat just a little bit, then we're better to properly use our fudge factor than when we are online.
You know, one of the cool things about technology is it can take the psychological principles of deception and they apply online really nicely. So we can take people like Dan Ariely's work that suggests that everybody does these small little lies. Well, we can look on online dating. Men say they're about 9/10 of an inch taller, right? A strong rounding up.
Men care a lot about women's weight, and therefore women lie about weight to a higher degree.
On their resumes, they'll lie a little bit about how long they worked at a place, but they won't make up jobs that they never were at.
This is where Sophie's research comes in. She believes that you give your lies away, not by what you say, but by how you move. First, she asks for 2 stories. One will be the truth, the other a lie. Will you be able to spot the lie?
I am going to ask you twice what you did yesterday morning between 8 and 12 a.m. The idea is that you'll answer these questions truthfully once and lie to me once about what you were doing yesterday morning.
So at noon, around then I looked at the clock on my computer and realized I had to go. While I was doing my taxes, my tax receipts, the table was full of receipts.
I'm going to ask you 2 sets of questions about your last holiday.
So I went to Curacao for my mom's birthday this summer. So my mom turned 50 this year, and we celebrated her 50th birthday there, and we were there for a week with the whole family.
A lot of the times I'll ask people, where do you think lies happen the most, on the internet or face-to-face? And most people, everybody says, oh, on the internet, for sure. But actually, a lot of our studies suggest that if I'm talking to somebody I know, okay, so not a Nigerian prince, not a scam artist, but I'm talking to my friend, my boss, my wife, online communication can often be more honest. And the reason for that is the record that's left behind.
I had breakfast. I washed some knives that I had sharpened the night before, I think.
Did you get her a gift?
Well, we bought her a cake. So there's a special cake on the island, like a local cake. It's made of cashew nuts. So we bought her. We ordered the cake in advance, and we bought her this cake, and she was very happy with that.
So if I ask you, how do you know when somebody's lying to you? Number 1 answer worldwide: liars won't look you in the eye. If you ask people a little differently, think about the last time you found out somebody was lying to you. How'd you find out? It's because of some kind of evidence, right? Your friend told you, oh, they didn't say that. They accidentally slip up later. So most lies are detected well after the fact on the basis of evidence.
Having told their first story, the interviewees now tell their second.
I met a friend.
My last holiday was in the south of France.
He said, do you want to meet me for a breakfast in town?
And while we were there, we were flooded by water, and this was quite serious.
People have always liked telling us about their holidays, but now, more and more, we are using their online travel reviews when choosing where to go, where to stay, but should we trust them?
And so what we've done is looked at the language of fake reviews and truthful reviews, and we can create algorithms that'll tell us this person's been at this hotel and this is a legit review, or no, they haven't, and it's totally fake. So one of the ways we can tell if somebody's been in a hotel room, for example, is the way they use small little words like I. So if they talk about themselves a lot and who they were with, it's probably a lie. Whereas a truth teller, they went in there, their body experienced the space, they know whether the bathroom is small or large, they know where the restaurant is relative to the lobby, and they know if shopping is nearby. And so you see a lot of spatial words like near, on, small, big. Whereas a liar is just making up a story and it doesn't include those kind of words.
But for Fernando and Evian, the big question is, can Sophie's algorithms tell which of their stories were the lies?
Here you can see the stick figure. The stick figure is actually Evian and how she was moving during the interview when she was talking about her holiday in France. At the moment the top is quite red, the more she starts moving, the more red it becomes. So we've been looking at that both as a full body measure, which you can see down here. So that's sort of an aggregated measure of how much Evian was moving over her entire body. And then we also look at it per body parts.
With the data collected, it was sent to Sophie's colleague, Ronald Pope in Utrecht University for analysis. Was he able to separate the truths from the lies?
Hi Sophie. Yes, I had a look at the motion capture files. For each person, I'm able now to tell you based on those movements which one of the stories is true and which one is a lie.
My lie was...
But after the analysis, we know that he was lying in his second story, and I believe that was a story about going to meet a friend for breakfast.
that I went for breakfast with that friend and then had a voiceover.
So that means that the truth was...
I did do my taxes.
Evian moved way less, but we believe that in her first story, the one where she went on holiday with her mother to celebrate her birthday, she was lying.
It was not my mom's birthday. She did not turn 50 this summer.
And therefore the truth was that she went to France where she had quite a flawless vacation.
In controlled experiments, this analysis of body motion had a success rate of around 82% in sorting the lies from the truth. Promising to be more accurate than the polygraph, it could be the first new lie detector in over 80 years. But more remarkably, used remotely, it might one day help identify criminal or terrorist behaviour.
But if you ever want to apply it in practice, you need to step away from those suits because you can't really ask people in an airport to put on a suit. So you want to measure movement remotely. So that's what we've been working on this summer. And this can be used as well, for example, for border control screening like Judy Burgoon in Arizona.
We've been doing a lot of research looking for a lot of different sensors that might be helpful for detecting deception automatically, and especially non-contact ones, so that you can do it remotely. You don't have to hook anybody up to wires or anything.
This is a Google Tango, which is as you can see, it's a tablet computer, but the sensors mounted across the top here are the same sensors that we were using in the lie detection rig. These are the infrared emitters and infrared camera that we use to determine the depth in the scene and then detect motion. There's the potential that you could have a large number of these rigs in large areas looking at people as they come through passport control.
Some of the things we're learning, some of the technologies that are being developed can all help us in the battle against the unpredictable and the bad actors that are out there.
And potentially protect a lot of people and save a lot of lives.